Hi, this is Ken Waters from WFO Phoenix. Today I'd like to briefly introduce you to some new dust related warning and advisory products that will be available soon. For many years, the only way we've been able to produce a dust storm warning has been to use the graphic hazard generator in GFE, which can create long fused warning products under the non precipitation warning category or PIL. These were presumably meant to address anticipated long duration events. However, dust storms in the desert southwest are often short fused events that are convectively driven, often needing to be issued very quickly. In this way, dust storm warnings have more in common with tornado or severe thunderstorm warnings. Experience has uncovered several problems with the existing mechanism for producing dust storm warnings. First of all, it can be slow and cumbersome, going through all the steps of working with the hazard grids, such as separating and merging and, and publishing existing hazard grids. And then these dust storm warnings had to be included with long fused warnings, such as excessive heat warnings that might already be in effect. This led to a jumbled NPW product with confusing mixes of zones and valid times between the different products. In addition, GHG uses public zones for specifying the geographic extent of the warning. Convective dust storms can form in different locations and move in ways inconsistent with these zone boundaries. Lastly, the recent development of the Wireless Emergency Alerts, WEA, or cell phone alerts, in 2014 led to another issue. Dust storm warnings have been upsized to counties for the purposes of these wireless alerts, often resulting in extreme overwarning, particularly in the case of very large counties, which are common in the western United States. This typically causes cell phones to sound the alert as much as 200 miles away from the actual threatened area, thus undermining the entire purpose of the WEA and prompting the public to turn them off. The final result is a warning that extends far beyond the threat area, is often delayed in getting produced, and results in a confusing product. This leads to a new initiative which will create two new products as shown on this diagram. On the left is the existing situation where we have dust storm warnings and blowing dust advisories. The right side of the diagram depicts the upcoming changes. Both of the existing alerts shown on the left are produced using GHG and are zone based. The current dust storm warning triggers the emergency alert system and the wireless emergency alert cell phone alerts. With this change coming in the next few months, we will move to 4 different products. The dust storm warning will split into 2 as shown on the diagram. The first will be a brand new polygon based dust storm warning that's produced by WarnGen. The other will be a blowing dust warning that will be long fused and zone based, just like the existing dust storm warnings. As for advisories, the blowing dust advisory will also split into 2. One will be a polygon based dust advisory and will account for convective situations where dust will be a factor but not reach the threshold of a warning. This will be produced in WarnGen as well. The other will basically be the legacy blowing dust advisory with little change. Yellow boxes here indicate polygon-based WarnGen produced alerts, whereas the blue boxes indicate legacy long-fused dust alerts that will be produced with GHG and use public zones to define geographic extent. This change will necessitate a brand new pill called DSW. Both of the WarnGen products will use this pill. The GHG produced alerts will continue to use the NPW pill. And the wireless emergency alerts will activate only upon the polygon-based dust storm warning, as shown in the diagram. Now, on to the process of producing the new dust storm warning. This process will be very similar to how we produce tornado or severe thunderstorm warnings. Namely, we will use WarnGen to highlight the threat area with a polygon and then send the warning in the same manner. This animation shows the process using a looped outflow boundary. First, we invoke WarnGen. Then we drag the target to the location of the threat area. And you will have the option to choose a line of storms or signal point as you wish. This example uses a single point. Next step is to adjust the polygon as you wish. Select the length of the warning from the drop-down on the left. As well as the appropriate bullets and calls to action that are desired. Once all selections are good, you'll go ahead and click the Create Text button, which opens up the actual text of the warning as shown. This specific example was done in Pumpkin mode, and therefore some of the WMO headers are not loaded yet. Note the speed with which the new product can be produced, very similar to what we already have with a Tor or SVR warning. A dust advisory will be done in much the same fashion using WarnGen for situations where the visibilities are not expected to be so low as to require a warning. Typically, this would be from about 1/4 of a mile up to 1 mile. Once again, pretty much all the same steps, going through WarnGen, selecting Dust Advisory from the drop-down, selecting the proper duration, adjusting the location and the polygon, and all the bullets as desired. And again, clicking Create Text and moving on to the final product. In this example, we're going to use a satellite imagery animation to determine the threat area. And then we'll switch our cave perspective to GFE and go through the normal steps that we're going to go through to produce a warning through the GHG. This includes separating hazards, merging hazards, publishing, saving the grids, and running the formatter launcher and using the baseline NPW formatter. and entering all the relevant information that would go out in the warning or advisory. To conclude, these new warning changes will result in significant improvements in getting dust storm warnings out for those forecast offices that are impacted by these fast paced, often convective driven phenomenon. Warnings will go more quickly to cell phone users who are in the impacted areas only, and reducing overwarning for a better served public. Thank you very much for your time.